Hello, everyone. Welcome to our very first podcast episode. My name is CK, and I will be the host for today's episode. I'm very, very excited because we have a lovely and beautiful guest with us. She's very, very important. I would love to introduce you to Elena. Hello.
Hello, hello.
Can you please tell us more about yourself and what the viewers can also expect from this episode?
Sure, sure. My name is Elena. I'm photographer and owner of Elena Photography Studio. I'm in photography over 35 years, and I'm portrait photographer. So my passion is not nature, but portraits. So humans and dogs, pets, yes. But
Yes,
moms
thank
are
you.
my most important
Yes,
subject.
portraits. Humans. Yes. So Elaine, I'm gonna get right on to our first question, which is what inspired you to start Elena K Photography?
I opened Elena Photography in 2010. After I had kids, um, actually, my husband inspired me. He always, when we met, he met me at my studio in Russia. So I'm originally from Russia. So, and
Mm-hmm.
he always thought I should do something in America, but we had kids. And then in 2010, he got some equipment, and that's how it started.
I love that. And what did you do during the early days of the studio? Like, how did the studio look like back then?
Yes. So I started with high school seniors. I love to photograph high school seniors. If you compare mom and high school senior want to be in front of the camera. Mom, you don't want. So I have a modeling. I previously modeled a little bit. So, and I created modeling look for high school seniors. So we did on location.
Mm,
Everything was on location. So we come to their home, photograph in their own environment. Of course, if the sports involved or tractors, we live in North Dakota, which is in lots of farmers here, so farming communities. So and they had all kind of gadgets they want to be photographed with. So that's how I started in 2010.
that is so cool. And you mentioned, that John was a very big inspiration for this studio. Um, how has he helped you so far with this journey?
Well, he is my technical guy. So I'm an old timer. Again, over 35 years ago, I started professional photography. So it was completely different. No digital world back then, dark room. So if I need something, I have idea, and I tell him, and he make it happen because he will find the right tools to photograph that idea.
Oh, very helpful. I think you guys are the perfect balance. Ever since I first started working with you guys, that's the first thing that I noticed that both of you provide something that the other needs help with. So when you guys are together, it's really a great team. So I'm going to be asking more questions about John, probably like in the future, because I would also love him to be part of the podcast series. So John, if you're John, if you're there, get ready because I'm also going to be having you on the podcast show. But anyway, Elaine, I'm going to jump on to question number two, which is what does confidence mean to you? And how do you help your clients tap into that during a photography session?
It's a very big question, so it's very hard probably to say in one sentence or couple sentences. Confidence, um, something, something what we do when we feel good about ourselves. So maybe I'm not describing the right way. So confidence when somebody look in the mirror and say, I'm still beautiful, and move on because we always have good or bad days. And when we're young and somebody say, oh, you look horrible today. And that girl comes home, throw herself on the bed and cries because like, oh my goodness. But the confidence, it does not really matter what people say about you, you still feel good about yourself. Um, Worse, I should say.
Yes, yes, I absolutely agree. And you actually said it perfectly. It's this self-confidence is also how we see our worth. And whatever people say to us, either we already know that or it's something new to our ears, it won't really affect us as much because we know ourselves that we are beautiful, that, when we feel good about ourselves, our self worth is very important. So, yes, thank you for that beautiful answer, Elena. I also needed that. But has there been a session or a client story that left a lasting impression on you? I know there have been a lot of clients in the past, but maybe you can talk about one or two that is really close to your heart that you remember.
Well, one's kind of funny story. When I started to photograph moms, ladies, it's right after my mom passed away. So that's how it's become my mission for every single woman existing photographs for her kids and loved ones. So local newspaper wrote article about me and about my mission. And one lady called me and she was very polite on the phone. And I usually write down about information. Tell me about yourself. Tell me what kind of clothes you like to wear because I want her to be herself. Tell me about basically asking question about herself. So I was writing down everything, and most of the time I ask if she has mom or daughter, and she said no, I don't have a daughter, and she was 85. So I'm assuming her mom probably passed away. So I didn't ask about her mom. So then I asked her a question. I said, you know what? I will love because you're gonna be by yourself and you are 85. Not so many 85 years old want to be in front of the camera. And and she said, yeah. I said, do you mind if you'll bring any picture of yourself so I can see at least what kind of smile you like or something expression? And she immediately said, sure. I'm like, wow, she's 85. She wants to be in front of the camera and she has picture of herself she likes. Because most of ladies, like they come to studio because they don't like any of images of themselves. They just give up. All photographers around just not pose them and they look awkward and stuff like that. So I was kind of puzzled and I was waiting for that photograph when she was what what she's gonna bring it to me. And she brought beautiful, beautiful black and white 11 by 14 portrait from 50s. Like beautiful studio
Wow.
of 50s, just beautiful dress, handmade, and a beautiful smile. And like, wow. I said to her, you're absolutely gorgeous. I said, is this the only photograph you have yourself you absolutely love? And she kind of smiled and she said, yes, that's the only one. And I said, it means through all of your life, and she was a beautiful lady, all of your life you did not like any portraits of yourself? She said, no, that's why I'm here. And it's my kick the bucket session. So that's
Oh,
the funny
God.
story. Kick the
I
bucket
love
session.
this.
So we had kick the bucket session and we got beautiful portraits of her. She was when before she retired, she was a nurse and she was a head of nurse department, and she
Mhm.
was well educated and proper and very quiet. And the portraits was just a timeless. So, and she loved them.
Wow, I'm actually so excited. Maybe later on or this week, I'm going to be asking you for those photos. I hope we have them. I'd love to feature them on our pages and when I edit this podcast. So whoever is watching right now, I will be inserting those photos here so you guys can see what Elena is talking about. I love that story. It's my first time to hear that, and I know that there are many, many more, plenty stories like that. So stay tuned because we are going to have many more episodes in the future where we're going to be talking about these beautiful stories that deserve to be heard. But anyway, Elena, moving on to our next question, what made you fall in love with photography? Actually, already hearing your previous answer, um, I can kind of see why these photography sessions are so important because they can really mean a lot to people. But I want to hear your answer. Like, what made you fall in love with photography?
Well, it's kind of also funny story. I always like loved art, but I cannot save my life to draw. So my father was an artist. In his heart, he did beautiful drawings. And when I was in the second or third grade, my best friend signed up for art school. And I told him, like, hey, my best friend going to art school. And he said, oh, Elena, I really want you to go too. So long story short, I signed up for art school because my best friend did. So we went together for a couple of years. I did pretty good drawings of still life, um, you know, subjects. And then I got sick. Probably for like 3, 4 weeks, I had horrible cold. Maybe I was in the hospital. I don't remember. So it was long. It was end of the year. And when I came back to after my long break from school, they start to already draw humans. So all these months they were practicing to make a, the skull bones and then put muscles over. So they already put in muscles over, and I'm drawing circles. I had no idea what to do, and I was so way behind, and it was end of school year tests and stuff like that. So I just give up because I knew I will not do that because I it's so way behind. So my father was of course disappointed because he wanted me to be an artist. But again, I cannot save my life to draw a person. So that was fourth grade or fifth grade after a couple 3 years school. And in the eighth grade, that's another funny story happened. My best friend, and again, somebody from America probably cannot relate to that, what I'm saying, but somebody from Russia will exactly. Back then in Russia was very popular Indian movies from India. So, and one, it actually will be related to you, interesting. So, the one movie called The Disco Dancer.
Ooh, disco
So,
dancer.
Disco Dancer. So, and my best friend, different friend, invite me to go with her to the movie and take a pictures of the screen because we didn't have a posters back then in Soviet Union. It was, you cannot just go to the store and buy picture of the famous actor. So I had no clue what I'm doing. And she said, Elena, I'm going to record the music because I want the music. And you just take this camera and push the button. I said, is there anything else? She said,
Mm.
no, button. So I pushed the button whole 2 hours because it was, over 2 hours movie. So we developed that film and it was clear. There's nothing in the film. And like, I pushed the button. Why there's nothing there? And it was not my camera. It was not even her camera. She borrowed camera from our neighbor. So we
Mm-hmm.
came to like, teenage girls crying. You don't know what's happened. And he looked and he said, you know what? Your shutter speed is very fast. So you have to get a slower shutter speed. Okay. So we went next time. So we can second time. So my friend said, just push the button, sits here and push the button. So we pushed the buttons, developed the film. There is nothing again. So again, we were
Mm.
disappointed. Went to the same guy and asked him what happened. And he said, oh, what kind of ISO did you use? I said, what's ISO? I have no idea what you're talking about. He said, well, it's a sensitivity of to the light. I said, what's sensitivity to the light? So he showed us examples. Like, oh, I scratched my head like, okay. So my friend said, do you understand now? I said, I think so. So we got higher ISO, we got slower shutter speed, we photographed, we developed, and we got silhouettes. So third time. So then after that experiment with camera, I started like
Mm-hmm.
I nailed it because we already 3 times at that movie. So and after maybe a couple 3 times we got negative and it was something there and we were so happy. So
Yay!
so ask me how many times I went to this movie to get the right shots.
How many times?
26. So I watched that movie 26 times.
26 times.
26 times.
You were dedicated. You were like, I'm gonna get
Absolutely.
this. I'm gonna get those beautiful photos. I'm gonna get it right.
Absolutely. So I memorized this movie by probably for many years. I could sing that songs in Indian and stuff like that. So, but that actually pushed me to have that camera in my hands. When we didn't go to the movie, I practice at home and I start to photograph my girlfriends. And I'm like, oh, I'm enjoying it. So and since I had a base of art school, because in art school, what they taught me actually, it's to see the light. And
Mm.
then I applied to the face to see the light in the face. So I always try to look for the best light for the face, so it's not gonna be like I'm sitting right now, like uh, more pleasant light, and that's what actually uh, inspired me to do photography, portrait photography, because I saw the light already. I just had to do technical part. Composition I already knew from the art school.
Mm-hmm.
So to just to find what ISO and what shutter speed, what aperture and stuff like that.
Wow, I love this. Beautiful, beautiful story. And it's actually also a funny story because I did not expect that you would have to see the movie 26 times. And I was thinking, oh, maybe since she was already starting to get the silhouette, she's already getting the hang of the camera. I thought maybe you were going to say like 7 or 10, 26. That's
I think
crazy.
my parents got broke, and my father, my mom, so he had the money for his lunch, and it's
Mm-hmm.
already over 20 times. And my mom said, "There is no way I'm going to give you money to go to movie again. You guys stop. You're a little bit going over the board." And my father saw my desire to nail those shots. He came to me and
Yes.
gave money, his lunch money, and he said, "Just go and do what you think the best, and I think you will nail it." So, and I did.
Oh wow. See the belief from your dad, the support. If you didn't
Yeah.
have that, then maybe you wouldn't get those shots. So that's really great having that parent love and your dad seeing that my daughter is dedicated. She wants to do this. This is, making her really excited to go to the movies, not to watch, but to photograph. So, but Elena, why do you think that it's important for women to have portraits like these? So I know that you mentioned about the 85-year-old woman with that story. Why do you think it's important for any age, either young girls, girls in their 20s, or mothers already, grandmothers? Why do you think that it's important for them to have beautiful portraits?
Well, I have a one phrase I always say to ladies, does not really matter what age group they are in. I always say every single woman is beautiful and let her exist in photographs for herself and for her loved ones. And if she's mother, I always add, and for her kids. Because time goes by so fast and older we get, we less and less want to be in front of the camera. But it's going to be most treasurable possession someday our kids will own. So that's why. And that's how, from high school seniors, I started to photograph ladies because of my mom's story. And my mom believed in me more than my father because after I finished photography college, actually it was vocational school, 2 years. I started to work for second largest studio in my city, which was very busy. Every 15 minutes we had clients, so it was just like lots of people. And then I went to back to college and I got my fine art degree in photography. But that time I did not believe in myself like I don't want to go back to college. I already have 2 years degree. I have a good job. I love what I do. And my mom said, "No, no, you have to. You have to." I said, Mom, I will never pass the test. There's, how to say, again, back then in Russia, it's a different education, different so to get to college, for example, 100 people apply, six only will be in the group.
Oh,
So,
wow. So it's they're very competitive, right?
right.
Only a few will make it.
Right. So when I got to college, my mom said, "You see, you can do it." I said, "I got to college is one thing, but staying in the college is another thing with so much stuff going on, so many
Mm-hmm.
assignments. It's not just a portrait photography, it was a nature photography, it was still life photography, it was architecture photography, it was so many different kind of photographies. And I
Wow.
remember they was very hard test, and I was studying all night, and I knew I probably will not pass the test because somebody said, out of whole group, which is we had about 20 people, probably three or four will pass this test. The rest will take second time. It was very difficult test. I was studying all night and I like, "Ugh, I will not pass this test. I don't have any confidence." And my mom came in the morning, kissed me, and she said, Elena, everything will be okay. And I said, Mom, you're a mom. You always believe in your kids. She said, no, everything will be okay. And she left to work. So I went, no, she was still at home. So I went to take a test. I mean, and she, after that, a few minutes later or whatever, half an hour later, she left. So I'm coming back home. I passed the test. I was like thrilled, like, oh my goodness, my mom should know I passed the test.
I have to tell her.
I have to tell her. And I come home and on my table, a little card from my mom and my favorite juice. And she wrote in that card, Elena, I knew you will pass the test. Congratulations. And this is juice for you. And I'm like, how did you know?
How did she
So she be
know?
yes. So that was my mom. And in the difficult situations, she always stepped in like every mom steps in. And that's what my mom was. My mom was
Hmm.
um, I can tell actually one saying. One time I had email got from lady and she said, I want you to photograph me and my daughter and my three daughters. No, two or three daughters. Three. And I always read email about what they want, but her email struck me. I should find it and send it to you. It was she and I asked in the registration form, ask why do you want to do photography? And
Hmm.
she said something like this. Again, I don't remember the whole thing, but it was something like this. She said, I'm a banker, I am a hairstylist, I am a chef, I am a boo-boo kisser, I am a chauffeur, I am chaperone, I am mom. And that's what she said. She
Mm.
described all everything what mom is. And when she said booba kisser, like, what's booba kisser? Because my English is like, oh, okay.
Oh, a
So,
boo kisser.
and at the end it says I'm mom. So everything
Mm.
what comes to it's a mother. So mom has so many, hats. Mom is a glue of the family. And when she
Hmm.
came,
Absolutely.
but I want to be her fourth daughter because it's such a tight relationship. And every single time when I see ladies coming with two, three daughters, and I see how tight relationship between all of them, I come to mom and say, "Can you adopt me? I want to be part of your family."
That's so
So
cute.
yes.
Oh, wow. I really, really love that story. And I relate so much to your mother's story because my mom is very supportive as well. Even when I don't believe in myself, when I'm tired, when my confidence is low, she's the one there behind me saying, you're my daughter. I know that you can do this. I believe in you. You're so talented. And whatever happens, I will be here to support you. So, I mean, hearing that your mother was that way too, it made me smile a lot and made me miss my mom. But Elena, I just want to ask, what do you enjoy the most? When you're working with these families, whether they're women or even their pets, or their families with their husbands, boyfriends. What gives you that feeling that you enjoy the most?
Well, when somebody walks to our studio with a clothes in their hands and are looking around and thinking, I know my friend was beautiful, but she's going to be in trouble with me because I hate myself. And I see her eyes and I say to myself, she thinks she's a challenge, but she's not. So let me just show how beautiful you are. And that actually starts from the beginning. So I usually compliment something what I can find in her with some.
Mm.
I don't lie to people because sometimes somebody say, you always say something compliments. I said, yes, but I always try to find something what truly will be compliment. Because if you have a bad hairdo day, I will not say you have absolutely amazing hair. So I will find something would compliment her. Sometimes it's the style she wears. Sometimes the shoes. I'm shoeholic. I don't know, shoeholic or whatever. So I love shoes. So I could say how beautiful her shoes are, or I will say, you know what? When you walk in, this so much energy came in. I'm unbelievable, and your girls are behind you, and you walk like a queen. So I always compliment something what she is, but she's not paying attention to that. So, and that's the first step. And after that, we pick the dress, what she will be photographed in. If she wants to be photographed in a dress, we have tons of dresses. And when she put the dress on, then she looked like, okay. So I see
Mm.
her confidence like went up. So, and when I photograph, I always show a couple shots on the back of my camera because I want to see her already reaction. And I always show that, and she like, wow, is that me? I said, I just pushed the button. I did nothing. So of course, it's lots of thought and it's posing and stuff like that. But that's slowly, slowly building confidence. So it's not just from one thing. It's just slowly, slowly. That's what I'm enjoying the most to see how
Mhm.
transformation happens.
Right, the
Transformation, that's
transformation. Okay. Oh, wow. It's really lovely how you start off the session. I think it's very important how you begin something when someone just enters, and the fact that you find something to compliment about and not lie and always telling the truth because for every single human being, there's something beautiful about them, whether it's their hair or like what you said, their clothes or their shoes. And since we are very used to ourselves, we see ourselves in the mirror, we forget that these things are beautiful for us. But then when someone like you comes around, Elena, you remind us about maybe something that we forgot years ago, about how we felt. And that the fact that transformation and how you see the clients, from them being maybe not so confident to just being absolutely in love with how they look in their photos, that is a very, very big deal. And it also helps with their everyday life, how they go on to talk to people, how they communicate, how they carry themselves. You don't know that you already boosted their self esteem. So, yeah, we're actually. I got a notification that we only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to move on to
sure.
the next one. Last two questions.
Sure.
What keeps you inspired, Elena? What keeps you inspired to continue to do this every day? Because you've already had the studio for years.
Yes. Same, my mom's story. Um, I know if she's not going to be in front of the camera, she probably in front of the camera and like herself, she will never think about it. And every single day I ask woman, tell me, when did you have beautiful portrait of yourself last time done? And over 95% say exactly the same question. Answer. There's three answers actually. Never, high school senior picture, or wedding. And does not really matter they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 80s. 95 years old, probably the oldest I photographed. And it's what tells me we are under-photographed creatures on Earth. And what it tells me, every single woman exactly same thing. So
Mm-hmm.
if she, and that's it's like there's never end of the mission because lots of I mean that's who we are not want to be in front of the camera, but my mission is still for mom existing photographs. So that's kind of pushed me through many things because again I know how she can see herself and change her perspective about herself. And
Yes.
well, one thing I'm going to tell one lady I photographed, she was single. She was a cat mom. She didn't have kids. And she came and she was texting me. I forgot how it was, 4 o'clock in the morning. And she said, Elena, I'm ironing my clothes. And back then I didn't have a clothes. Like, what she's doing? So she was so nervous. On the phone, when I was talking to her, I said, form-fitting outfit is the best. And she kind of laughed and she said, Elena, you don't know me. I will be like a caterpillar. I'm like, what she's talking about? So she was very curvy. So it's, the everything.
Ah.
When she walked in, I'm like, well, I know what you're talking about. So I actually helped her to pick the right outfit because back then, again, we didn't have any clothes for offer. And when I photographed her, she looked at herself and she almost cried. And she told me that phrase I never forget. She said, Elena, I walked into your studio and now I'm flying with my wings out.
That's
So that's it.
beautiful. I love that. Oh, wow. That's what I'm talking about. The self-esteem and the self-worth, it can be really a life-changing experience. I mean, for years, somebody can be feeling down. Maybe they went through something. Maybe they're grieving or they're going through transition in their life that it's really hard to take care of themselves to make them feel beautiful. But when they have sessions like these, it reminds them, wait, I am beautiful. I feel like I have my wings now. I'm a butterfly.
Yes.
But yes, Elena, what do you think makes Elena K Photography different from other studios?
I can tell you one thing. Guarantee. I guarantee you. You will see yourself like you never saw before.
Absolutely. You'll see yourself like you've never seen before.
Yes. And I guarantee you will love your images.
Woohoo! Okay, we actually have time for the very last question, which is what would you say to a woman who feels nervous or shy to be in front of the camera? Because maybe someone is watching right now and they want to be photographed, but something is holding them back. What would you like to say to them to encourage them?
I always say just do it. Um, just do it because when you're going to be in your 80s, you will look at yourself and say, why I was complaining about myself back then. So just do it because again, you will see yourself differently.
Hmm. Yay. Thank you so much, Elena. I loved this session. I feel like we were talking only for a short while, but we've been talking for almost I think 45 minutes now because
Oh,
it says on
wow.
my Zoom timer. I feel like I can talk to you for days. What you say is always so interesting to me, your stories, your advice, and yeah, that's just a small teaser of what you're actually going to be experiencing once you visit Elena K photography. So if you guys are watching and you're not yet convinced to have the confidence to do a photography session, don't worry because I promise you and I guarantee, like what Lena said, you guys are in good hands. When you go to the studio, you're going to be well taken care of. But yeah, this is the end of our very first podcast episode. Elena, I want to say thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for
Thank you.
being here and for answering all these questions. I hope to see you again soon. We will be having more episodes. Would you like to say anything to anyone or saying goodbye?
Stay beautiful. Don't bug yourself. That's my always saying to moms.
I love that. Okay, thank you so much, and we'll see each other again soon. Thank you
All
to
right.
everyone who watched. Goodbye.
Bye.